Top 10 famous people rumored to be reincarnated. Conspiracy theories. Fears about the rich and celebrated are developing thick and quick constantly. In the event that they're not dead, they are individuals from some dark faction or the Illuminati family, or they paid somebody to take out an individual superstar. Others are supposed to be resurrections. Some even recollect their previous existences. A portion of these hypotheses are crazier than others, as the sections on this rundown will demonstrate. Number 10. Baby Bruce Lee. Since he was a little boy, Ryu's IMI has been reputed to be the resurrection of the celebrated Chinese entertainer and kung fu ace, Bruce Lee. The kid's dad has unmistakably been a deep-rooted fan and began indicating his child Lee's motion pictures when he was just a year old. At 3 years old, Ryuzai started building up his ability with nunchucks, and at age 4, he began impersonating Lee's kung fu. From age of 5 he began looking lean and solid and could completely copy Lee's unpredictable hand-to-hand fighting moves, vivaciously imitating the celebrities close to home. Jeet Kune Do, converted into the way of the intercepting fist style. His expertise, control, and procedure so intrigued Dan Inocinto, a previous and understudy of Bruce Lee himself, that he made the excursion to Japan to actually take on Ryuzai as his understudy. Together they visited Seattle, where the little kung fu ace showed his nunchuck abilities by Lee's graveside. Number 9. Time-traveling Travolta. For $50,000, you can own an original 1860s-era photograph of who appears to be a very young John Travolta. Or at least, you could have. In 2017, an antiques dealer made the purported 150-year-old photo of John Travolta available for purchase on the popular auction site eBay. Look closely at the image below and you'll see for yourself the striking resemblance in both men's eyes, hairline, and most importantly John's very unique trademark chin. Travolta, a well-known Scientologist, would almost certainly have appreciated the proof of one of his past lives. Although the Church of Scientology does not appear to have an official statement on time travel, it does, according to its official website, support the idea of reincarnation. Today in Scientology, many people have certainty that they have lived lives prior to their current one. Past lives is not a dogma in Scientology, but generally Scientologists, during their auditing, experience a past life and then know for themselves that they have lived before. Number 8. Carrot's Top Cadet. Despite the fact that Conan O'Brien flopped in a big way when taking over The Tonight Show from Jay Leno in June 2009, fans of the carrot-topped comedian are legion and loyal, holding fast to fond memories of the funny man's late-night television show. In a much-publicized huff, O'Brien declined NBC's offer to move The Tonight Show to a later slot and instead walked away and handed back the reins to Leno in January 2010. His short tenure at the show still secured a hefty severance package, so it's little wonder that O'Brien flew under the radar for a while. With $34 million in his pocket, he could certainly afford to. Late in 2010, however, he returned to the small screen with a reincarnation of his famous Late Night with Conan O'Brien, which ran from 1993 to 2009. His new show was not the only thing that got reincarnated, though. The man himself is the spitting image of Marshall Harvey Twitchell, who, back in the mid-1860s, served in the Union Army. Take a gander at the picture below and see for yourself how much O'Brien resembles the dapper-looking cadet. Number 7. Macaulay Culkin. Yes, you heard that right. Macaulay Culkin, the eternity youthful Home Alone star of the 90s, looks simply like a youthful Vladimir Putin. A similar heavenly face, a similar floppy hair, and a similar Cupid bow. The similitudes between the two don't end there, however. In his 2018 narrative, The Most Powerful Man in the World, Fareed Zakaria depicts Russian President Vladimir Putin as, indeed, you got it, the most influential man on the planet. Thus, on account of his child's colossal film industry victories, Premiere magazine evaluated Kit Culkin one of the most influential individuals in Hollywood in 1993. Culkin is the main youngster entertainer to be paid $1 million for his function in My Girl, just as the second most youthful VIP to have Saturday Night Live at the youthful time of 11. When he was around a similar age, Putin's instructor noticed the accompanying, in the 5th grade, he actually hadn't got himself yet. However, I could feel the potential, the vitality and the character in him. When he was in the 6th grade, Putin concluded the time had come to accomplish something in life. His disposition towards his examinations changed significantly and he began to dominate in school. His profession rise was fast, his excursion to President of Russia happening practically for the time being. Much like Culkin, who revealed to Maron he felt his dad was desirous of him, since all that he attempted to do in his life, I dominated at before I was 10 years old. In December 2018, Culkin reported that he would legitimately change his name to Macaulay Culkin. However, subsequent to seeing the image underneath, Macaulay Putin is maybe more exact. Number 6. Greta Thunberg. In November 2019, at the tallness of Greta Thunberg's political profession, the Twitter sphere almost collapsed when an image, taken in 1898, became visible. Delivered from the Chronicles at the University of Washington, the unpleasant picture unmistakably shows Thunberg, along with who give off an impression of being her kin, bringing water from a well in Dominion Creek, Yukon Territory. Indeed, even the plate is an accurate match. When the photograph was posted online by Jack Strange, the uncanny likeness between the young lady in the image and the present-day Thunberg started a large number of Twitter clients to joke that she may be a time traveler. The hosts of the television show Your Morning additionally had a ton of fun conjecturing about the ecological dissident's time-traveling capacities and the likelihood that she is from the future, here to convey a critical admonition. They further suggested that the picture discloses why Thunberg won't fly over the Atlantic and likes to go by vessel. Clearly, time travelers experience the ill effects of some sort of antipathy for innovation. Number 5. Lawrence lookalikes. In 2017, a 17-year-old model named Alexia Mayer rose to fame in a rather unconventional way. Apparently, she looked scarily similar to actress Jennifer Lawrence. So similar, in fact, that she has even found herself surrounded by paparazzi. Mayer isn't Law's only lookalike. The Hunger Games star is also the spitting image of the Egyptian actress Zubaydah Tharwat, famous during the Silver Age of the silver screen. And when we say spitting image, we mean spit. Ting. Image. Seriously. Right down to the eyeliner. In reality though, the only thing these accomplished actresses have in common is their chosen profession. And even though we can't call it a reincarnation, since Zubaydah only died in 2016, the strong resemblance in the picture below is enough to make you do a double take. Or two. Number 4. Royal reincarnation. In 2013, one TV clairvoyance cases made numerous individuals stand up and pay heed. Not on the grounds that, as is typically the situation, it sounded strange, but since it included our untouched most loved regal, Lady Diana. Sharon Prasad, self-broadcasted mystic, mutual in a narrative about the imperial family that Prince George and Princess Diana share something beyond a star sign. If we have take a gander at the Cancer impact with Lady Diana, this is truly intriguing on the grounds that it shows a daily existence passing connection. Yup. As per Prasad, Prince George is the rebirth of his darling grandma. Not just due to the striking similarity between the late Princess and Kate and William's oldest child, but since of their common advantages and abilities, similar to their shared warmth for moving. Sovereign William obviously once told the press that his oldest child adores moving simply like his late mother did. While you may contemplate whether these individuals have ever known about hereditary qualities. Number 3. Mata Hari. The material girl Madonna has been suspected to be the rebirth of different people. Most strikingly, the lady referred to the world as Mata Hari. Conceived in 1917 in the Netherlands, her genuine name was Margrethe Zell. As a young lady she wedded a Dutch armed force official and moved to Indonesia, where she turned into an individual from an Indonesian MOVE organization. However, Zell possibly began drawing consideration when she later migrated to Paris and functioned as a craftsman's model and intriguing artist. Wanton, coquettish, and transparently displaying her body with a persona that dazzled both her crowds and the general population, Mata Hari was a short-term achievement. The most praised section of her demonstration was her reformist shedding of dress until she wore only a jeweled bra and a few trimmings upon her arms and head. Rather like Madonna during her blonde ambition visit, wouldn't you say? Be that as it may, clearly, Mata Hari was only one of numerous previous existences lived by the material girl. Her fondness for Kabbalah has prompted an investigation of her past manifestations. She was, it is stated, a solid Jewish lady in these previous existences. However, as she wasn't renowned at that point, it is hard to truly approve them. Number 2. Isn't it ironic? Is Alanis Morissette the resurrection of Sergei Prokofiev? Are the productive artists in actuality the resurrection of the equivalent soul? Sergei Prokofiev was the Russian writer, piano player and conductor behind the melodic fantasy Peter and the Wolf, which remains hugely mainstream today. He was viewed as one of the significant arrangers of the 20th century, playing the piano at age 5 and forming his first show at age 9. Alanis Morissette, obviously, is the Canadian-conceived vocalist-lyricist behind Jagged Little Pill, the top-of-the-line collection of the 90s. Frequently portrayed as an old soul, Morissette was playing the piano at age 7 and, much the same as Prokofiev, composing tunes by age 9. Could they be indeed the very same soul? Ironically, the artist has a twin sibling, Wade Imre Morissette. He looks in no way like his sister nor Prokofiev, yet does, be that as it may, look somewhat like Prokofiev's subsequent spouse, Myra. Number 1. Queen of the People. I was instructed since early on that numerous individuals would regard me as a peasant since I was African American and on the grounds that I was female. Queen Latifah Zora Neale Hurston, 1891–1960, was an African American creator and producer conceived in Alabama. Her work generally depicted the battles around subjection and isolation in the United States. Dana Owens, presently known as Queen Latifah, was conceived in 1970 in New Jersey. Her honor-winning work as an artist, entertainer and music maker additionally spins generally around the African American involvement with the United States. Knowing this makes the picture underneath even more brain-blowing. Not exclusively does Zora Neale Hurston, on the left, look simply like the renowned Hollywood heavyweight in character for a film. Their separate lives have exhibited extraordinary insight and innovativeness in depicting the lives and battles looked by African Americans since forever. One really wants to figure they would have been extraordinary companions and shared fans. Knows the last president in 1893. Ingersoll Lockwood wrote a book. That book was called The Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump and His Wonderful Dog Bulgar. Trump, an aristocratically wealthy young man living in Castle Trump, is the protagonist of Lockwood's first 2 fictional novels, The Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump and His Wonderful Dog Bulgar and Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. The little boy, who has an unending imagination and a very active brain, is bored of the luxurious lifestyle he has grown so accustomed to. In a twist of fate, Trump visits Russia to embark on an extraordinary adventure that will shape the rest of his life. But it gets crazier. The sequel to the book was called The Last President, and here's a snatch. The story begins with a scene from a panicked New York City in early November, describing a state of uproar after the election of an enormously opposed outsider candidate. The entire East Side is in a state of uproar. Police officers shouted through the streets, warning city folk to stay indoors for the night. Mobs of vast size are organizing under the lead of anarchists and socialists, and threaten to plunder and despoil the houses of the rich who have wronged and oppressed them for so many years. The Fifth Avenue Hotel will be the first to feel the fury of the mob, the novel continues, citing an address in New York City where Trump Tower now stands. Would the troops be in time to save it? One, it's so strikingly similar to our reality that it can't be true. Right? But it is. Oh. And the illustrations from the book look like President Trump's son too. This has led the self-described autists of /pol/ on the mostly unmoderated social media site 4chan along with their compadres on theDNL.win, the largest President Trump fan community, to declare that Barron, the youngest son of the 45th president, is a multi-dimensional time traveler. That could certainly explain a lot.